Good evening, this is Bruce and welcome to my shop on this lovely Sunday evening. My wife has abandoned me, gone to see my brother about something. The grandkids are not here, so and my neighbour is otherwise occupied with his young baby. So I'm left to my own resources, and I'm having a glass of scotch. All the best to everybody. And that's the last of this bottle that came along for my birthday last Sunday, or both, and there's quite a few of them. And this one's a Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben. It's a Highland single malt Scotch whisky, and it's distilled and matured in Ross-shire, and it's perfected by the 16 men of Tain. Now the Scots are very good at not putting their hands in their pockets if they can help it, and most of the single malts, or the single malts, are from other casks. In other words, they've had a previous life. A lot come from America. The bourbons are only matured once in a cask, and once they're taken out, they've been decasked. Those casks go to Scotland, and that's where the single malts get dropped into. And this one is it's a quintessence from wine estates in Portugal, and that provides the ruby port casks for this velvety textured Glenmorangie. Reuben is the Gaelic for ruby, and you can see the colour here. It's quite different. I'll give you a bit of a squeeze at that. If you can see that, with the Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben. So I'll sip along with this when I get a chance. Had a very busy couple of weeks, and I was off the channel. I put number 21 for the Get Her Out series today up, and that was to do with this oil housing, where we had 4 shared small screws. And in order to get them out, I had to remove the long screws that were here. So I cut them off, and then machined them. And Get Her Out 21 goes into depth on what I did here. Needless to say that job's finished, and that's going out tomorrow. Another job that came in, a very simple one. Is just these are the rollers from somebody's boat, and they wanted a couple of little shafts made up, so I've done that, and that'll go out tomorrow. This is just to remind me that I've got to get some more of these belts. There's another job here that I've made quite a few of these. It's I come up with this idea. These bolts are locked inside of a housing, and they get covered in salt, and they lock up and they can't get them out. So what I did is I devised this. I bought these diamond cutting drills that they use for tiles, and I cut them off and silver soldered them onto a tube, and then with a rattle gun with a head on them. Now these are getting destroyed, and then they go down, they drill down, and they clear the way, get rid of all the salty build-up, or the gypsum build-up, and then when they do the 6 of those, they can then remove that cover, which normally a lot of them got destroyed trying to get them off. So I've got a few more to make up here, and what we're going to do this time is we're going to make it for a drill end. So I've cut up these stainless steel tubes. I'm going to machine them so that they'll fit. So this will fit in. I'll cut this off and silver solder to the other end, and make these so that they can only use them in a drill and not a rattle gun. So that's a little job for during the week. I've got a forward and reverse switch here to mount on a drill press of a friend of mine. That's a little job for during the week. Another job that's come in is this item here, and what this is some sort of side plate for a for a printing press. And there's two of those. They're opposing. They work opposing to each other apparently, something like that. And this high density polyethylene has been chewed away. So they've asked me to price up to make 6 of these. Now these items are need to be cut out of HDPE. They're of a certain thickness, and I'm not sure that I can get that thickness, so I may have to thin them down. They have full inserts inside here to take these 4mm screws. It has a counter bore in here to take the back end of this shaft that goes inside there. And this is the critical part. This part needs to be machined to the right depth, to the right diameter, and there's a right and a left, and they have this relief at an angle on this end. So I've priced those up, and we'll see if they're happy with the price. If not, they'll probably go to Germany to get them. Another job that's come in is this part of a hydraulic arrangement, and I can't tell you any more than that, except that it looks like this, and it needs a groove cut